In the icy darkness of the far north, where winter lasts half the year and the sun barely rises above the horizon, there lurks a creature whispered about for centuries. A creature older than Christmas, older than stories, and perhaps even older than the island it haunts. Before we begin tonight's journey into the frozen folklore of Iceland, remember to subscribe to World Mysteries, where the world's strangest legends, chilling secrets, and unexplained truths come alive. Now, keep your coat close, your lights dimmed, and whatever you do, don't look too long into the snow, because something might be looking back. They say winter in Iceland changes people. The cold is not just weather, it's a presence, a pressure. It sinks into your bones and makes every shadow feel alive. But for centuries, Icelanders feared something far worse than frostbite or hunger. They feared the Yule Cat, a monstrous, towering beast with fur as black as volcanic ash, eyes that glowed like dying embers, and claws sharp enough to slice through ice and stone. But this is not just a fairy tale told to keep children in line. No, this creature, according to the oldest families of the West Fjords, was said to roam the country every Christmas Eve, hunting. But not for food alone. It hunted the lazy. It hunted the unprepared. It hunted anyone who faced the harsh Icelandic winter without earning or receiving new clothing. The tale begins long ago, at a time when farms were isolated and winter was an enemy that swallowed entire settlements. In those days, wool was life. Every family relied on it, for warmth, for survival. Those who worked tirelessly through the darkest months would be rewarded with a new garment before Christmas. Those who didn't, well, they faced something else entirely. One such winter belonged to a boy named Arni, who lived in a remote valley where the snow piled so high it swallowed doorways and silenced entire forests. Arni's family was poor, their sheep few and wool precious. His mother worked endlessly, spinning and knitting by the dim glow of an oil lamp, her fingers cracked and bleeding from cold. But Arni, though kind, was distracted. He dreamed of leaving the valley, of exploring the world beyond the mountains. His chores went undone. His spinning wheel sat untouched. He did not earn his gift of new clothing. And as Christmas Eve approached, a silent dread grew inside the farmhouse. For his mother knew the rules. Everyone in Iceland knew the rules. If you went into Christmas without new clothes, the Yule Cat would smell you. That night, a storm rose so suddenly it felt as if the sky had cracked open. Wind howled across the valley, slamming against the wooden walls. The sheep cried in fear. Even the old dog slunk close to the hearth, its body trembling uncontrollably. Arni sat awake on his straw bed, listening to the storm rage outside. At first he thought the roaring belonged only to the wind, until he heard something else. A sound deeper, heavier, a sound like giant footsteps crushing snow. He froze, another step and another, slow, intentional, far too rhythmic to be the storm. His mother rushed into the room, eyes wide. "Arni," she whispered, her voice trembling, "stay quiet, don't move, don't even breathe loudly." "What is it?" he whispered back, though he already knew. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Outside, something scraped along the roof. Something long and sharp, sliding from the chimney down the wooden siding like a blade testing the softness of skin. Then came the growl, low, rumbling, hungry. Arni felt it vibrate through the floor. The Yule Cat had arrived. The creature's glowing eyes swept up across the snow outside, illuminating the storm like two burning lanterns. They say the Yule Cat can smell human fear, but it smells something else even stronger, the absence of new wool. It prowled from house to house during the darkest night of the year, searching for anyone who failed to work hard enough to deserve winter clothing. The farmhouse door shook violently, dust falling from the beams overhead. Arni clutched his blanket, knowing full well a simple piece of fabric could not save him. His mother sobbed silently. "I should have made him something," she whispered to herself. But she couldn't. They simply didn't have enough wool. Then, the sniffing began. A massive shadow passed by the window. Arni could feel its breath, a chill colder than any winter wind, seeping through the cracks. Suddenly, with a noise like splitting thunder, the latch snapped. The door flew open. A massive paw, fur black and soaked from the storm, rested on the threshold. Claws longer than knives sank into the wood. Snow blew in behind the creature, swirling around its enormous silhouette. Its head alone was larger than any animal Arnie had ever seen, its fangs gleaming like shards of ice. The Yule Cat stepped inside. Arnie's heart stopped. This was it. No story ever said the creature hesitated. No story said it could be stopped. But something happened that no one expected. The cat froze, its nostrils flared. It stared straight at Arnie, then blinked slowly, almost confused. Because around Arnie's shoulders, his mother had thrown the only piece of new clothing the family owned, a single wool scarf she'd been saving for months. It was barely finished, uneven, too short, but it was new. The Yule Cat growled, then stepped back. Its glowing eyes dimmed, and with a flick of its tail, it turned and vanished into the storm, leaving Arnie trembling on the floor and his mother collapsed in relief. Most stories end there, but Arnie's did not. Because after that night, he realized the truth behind the legend, a truth far more complex than a monster hunting the lazy. The Yule Cat wasn't just a creature of punishment, it was a guardian of survival. A reminder that in a land where winter could kill you in a single night, laziness wasn't just a flaw. It was a death sentence. Everyone had to work, everyone had to prepare. But what if the legend didn't start as a warning for children? What if it started as something real? Years later, scholars uncovered ancient writings, fragments of sagas older than Christianity's arrival in Iceland. They spoke of a beast that roamed the volcanic highlands, feeding on the remains of those lost in winter storms. A scavenger at first, then a hunter. Some believed it mutated from an ancient lynx species that grew too large. Others thought it was a spirit, born of winter itself. A few whispered that it came from somewhere far older than Iceland, something carried north by settlers who feared it so deeply they refused to speak its true name. But the strangest discoveries came from remote farms where people still claim to hear thunderous footsteps on Christmas Eve. Modern witnesses describe a creature too large to be natural, its eyes reflecting light even when no light exists. Some have seen claw marks in snow reaching lengths no known Icelandic animal could make. Others found mutilated livestock with wounds too clean for wolves or dogs. A handful swear they saw it, a massive shadow moving against the blinding white of a blizzard. And every one of the survivors shares the same detail. The creature came close, sniffed the air, and left them alive only after noticing their new winter clothing. Coincidence? Or proof the legend still walks? Even today, Icelanders take the tradition seriously. Families give each other at least one new piece of clothing every Christmas, not just for fun, but because you never know. Children laugh about it. Adults pretend they don't believe. But every winter, when the wind howls across the mountains and the long Arctic night swallows the land, even the skeptics glance toward the snow and wonder whether those huge shadows outside are truly just tricks of the storm. Because belief in the Yule Cat isn't about fear, it's about respect. Respect for winter, for hard work, for survival. A respect forged by generations who lived on the edge of the world and knew that nature does not forgive the unprepared. As for Arnie, he grew into a man remembered in local legend as one of the strongest workers in his valley. He never again shirked his duties, never again faced winter without preparation. Every Christmas Eve, he placed a small piece of new wool clothing outside his home. Not for himself, but as an offering, a gesture of gratitude, and perhaps a reminder to the beast that once spared him. Some say the Yule Cat has softened over the centuries. Others believe it grew smarter, more elusive, hunting only when the snow is thickest and the lights of the towns are faintest. But one thing is certain. If you ever find yourself in Iceland on Christmas Eve, standing alone in a white, silent landscape, and you hear heavy footsteps crushing snow somewhere behind you, don't run. Don't scream. Just look down at your clothes and pray that something, anything you're wearing is new. If tonight's story sent a chill down your spine, imagine hearing those footsteps outside your window on a winter night. Do you believe the Yule Cat is just folklore? Or could something ancient still be roaming Iceland's frozen wilderness? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love stories where myth and mystery blur into reality, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another tale from World Mysteries. Until next time, keep your lights warm, your clothes new, and your mind open. The world is far stranger than we think.